discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. When you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasant good evening to you. Welcome to Over to You, a program absolutely by the people and absolutely for the people. I welcome each and every one of you this evening, the 11th day of July 2026. Please, ladies and gentlemen, this is your program. Please go ahead and share the link and like the program. Well, we do have a lot that is happening. We do have a lot that is happening. I am still in recovery mode from what would have transpired on Monday. Let me just tell you guys, I'm still in recovery mode. All right. I still can't believe my brothers and sisters on the ground, and to some extent, certain factions of leadership. All right. So let's dig in. Let's dig in and begin tonight's program. Let's do the roll call, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do a roll call. Early Sandra Hanover, the freedom fighter, is in the house. Sandra, thank you for all you do on this program. Thank you very much. I just want you to know that I greatly appreciate you. Althea Wade, a pleasant good evening to you. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. Rastaman is in the house very, very early. That means that there's space and power this evening. Run the Tuesdays here. A pleasant good evening to you. Marcus Paul Canarsie, Brooklyn, is in the house. Good evening, Marcus. Miss Mary Figueroa, our first Canadian in the house. A pleasant good evening to you. Hope that all is well. Sandra Sargent is here. A pleasant good evening to you, Miss Sargent. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. Miss Desiree Smart Felix, our second Canadian by way of New Amsterdam, is in the house. A pleasant good evening to you, Miss Desiree. Hope all is well on your end. Miss Karen Clark is present. Good evening, Miss Clark. Good to have you here. Miss Lynette Zephyr is here. A pleasant good evening, Miss Zephyr. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. Floretta Hamilton is in the house. Good evening, Miss Hamilton. My good friend, and I would call her an activist, Miss Charlene A. Moses. She is for the people. She's by the people. Miss Moses, a pleasant good evening to you, and it's good to have you here as usual. Jennifer, good evening to you. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. Shondell C. Canterbury is in the house. Good evening to you. Ann Summergun is here. Good evening to you, Miss Summergun. Marina Edwards is here. Pleasant good evening to you, Miss Edwards. Laverne Whitwright is here. Good evening to you, Miss Whitwright. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. Althea Galloway is here. Good evening. Miss Rose Mary Martindale Brackett is in the house. A good evening to you, Miss Martindale Brackett. Kennedy Flormont is here. Good evening. Marilyn is in the house. Petra Gordon is in the house. Good evening. Lauren Nicholas is here. Good evening to you. Colin Adams. Good to see you, Mr. Adams. Good evening. Covington, Georgia. All right. Georgia is in the house. All right. right. Claudette Allen, good evening to you. Patricia San is here. Good evening. Yvonne Rodriguez, Barbados is in the house. A pleasant good evening to you. Savitri Rose is here. Good evening. Notley Harry is here. Good evening to you. Comrade Keith Beresford is here. A pleasant good evening to you, Mr. Beresford. Patricia Punch is here. Good evening. Sharma E. Grant. Melville is here. Good evening to you. Yolanda is here. Gita Sogrim is in the house. Good evening to you. Miss Orwell Dawn Cook is here. Good evening to you, Miss Cook. Dorette Bruley is here. Good evening to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for tonight's roll call. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's dig in. Let's dig in. Let's dig in. All right, where do we start? Let's kind of start tonight. All right, with information. We have a commission of information in Guyana. Well, should I start there? Let's start where our parliament is. All right, we're going to start with parliament this evening because I was sitting down and I was thinking about what is currently happening in Guyana across the board, where the people seem to be stifled and stagnant. All right. The government is determining all the moves in Guyana. Right. And look, let's be fair here this evening and just start off by saying that Guyana is no longer a democracy. I don't care what any external forces got to say, because any external force have to say is not accurate. Because they have all shown that they are biased, favorable to this installed regime. So let's not pay them any mind for right now. What the people of Guyana need to understand is that you cannot worry about what an external force, and to some extent, the leaders on the side of the opposition, you cannot worry about what some external force have to say. You are leaders in Guyana. Your business is Guyana, not the external force. The external force after. But your business is to serve the people of Guyana. You took an oath to serve the people of Guyana, your citizens. You didn't take an oath to serve investors or any external force that is trying to tell you what to do. The Guyanese people should be telling you what to do because you are supposed to be representing them, right? We have a representational democracy. That is what it, quote unquote, is supposed to be. And democracy is built strictly on three pillars. You have the executive branch, you have the judiciary branch, and you have the parliamentary. All right? So when we want to call a nation a democracy, those three branches need to be working separately. Okay? Separately. Not colluding. Not the judiciary and the parliamentary level being submissive to the executive level, which is what we are seeing right now in Guyana. The executive is controlled by the PPPC, right? With their installed president, Mohamed Afan Ali. The judiciary is definitely controlled by the PPPC. Why? Because they control the parliamentary level, which have major influence also on the judiciary, and vice versa. So it is not fair anymore to call Guyana a functioning democracy. So let's get that out the door early. Right? We're admitting here that we don't have democracy. Now on to the next thing here. Our parliamentary level. No. Parliament doesn't even meet once in a blue moon. Parliament is not meeting once in a blue moon. The government is not much managing our resources the way that they should be managing the resources of the Guyanese people. We see this. So many might want to think, well, Wayne, well, what are you trying to say? Well, what I am trying to say, all right, is that we need to stop with this part-time bullcrap parliament and let's get into some real work so we can expose some real things, so that we can put some real policies in place that I for sure know that the members of the APNU is not going to have no problem adhering to those policies. But it is going to be a massive issue to the PPPC. Why? Because all the deals out there are already made. We have to understand the disadvantage in the scope of this whole political scheme that the APNU, they are playing at a major disadvantage. Major. When you have people and their ambassadors coming out and say they support this regime, without even leveraging information from the opposition, it shows you that they've already taken a position without even knowing historical context. Right? And it also shows you something, that all they care about is their interest. They don't care anything about the Guyanese people. But then let's revert back. When everyone would have taken their oaths, the oath was to serve the Guyanese people and serve in the best interest of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Right? That's the oath. The oath said nothing about Wayne Caesar and Black Belly sheep and Wayne Caesar with 150 acres farmland. I mean, 150 acres, we could have taken that and build housing projects in Guyana for so many of people that are on that housing list. We could have done a lot of things with 150 acres. 150 acres to one man, to one family. How we can call that fair and equitable? How can we call that fair and equitable? How are we calling that fair and equitable? Then you're hearing somebody got some 80,000, 80 acres somewhere, and all these kind of things. So what these guys were doing, and I recall saying this very early in my time doing political commentary, that these people have Guyana well mapped. They have Guyana mapped out, and everybody is going and choose where they want to settle, where they want their land. But I'm asking the question, whatever happened to the normal born and bred Guyanese? Because he or she is not seeing equity in their own country. Right? You have Venezuelans coming in through the border, like if it's out of style. We are importing nurses from Bangladesh, and all over the place we're importing people from. People coming in the country that the opposition don't even know that people are coming in the country. They're even bringing in a few from Nigeria. Well, of course, they're going to do that to kind of show that they're trying to show some measure of balance. But that's absolutely not the case. That is not the case. All right? There's no balance. We just had, what just came out? Common entrance results. I'm going to touch on that later in the show. Y'all see the display up on the screen, right? Y'all see what's going on. Okay? I hope everybody figure out what was the elephant on the wall in that whole display. Y'all smart. I don't have to say it here. Y'all smart. Go up and look at all the names and look at all the photos and look at everything. And y'all could see what is happening to Guyana. And this is not being done by chance. This is purposely being done. Everything that y'all see that is happening, it is purposely being done. Don't get carried away. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. It's not by chance. It is purposely being done. Mr. Gavin Caesar. Look, Gavin, don't tune in here and tell me that you want to hear more about paper sharks. All right? Don't. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, y'all are smart people. I don't need to come on really and say anything, You guys are smart. All right? You guys know. Look, all right, let me quick revisit the paper shark story. Quick. Because Gavin seemed to be anxious about that. Ladies and gentlemen, come on, we're smart people here. We're intellectuals here. All right? You guys have proven and have shown that. There's no question about that. Oh, man. Oh, the farm get exposed. Next thing you see, Azadin Mohammed bodyguard get, pulling for questioning. He hasn't been charged. He hasn't been officially charged, has he? I haven't seen anything about him being officially charged. So you guys are understanding the game that is being played. And here, they ain't playing chess. Those guys, Azadin Mohammed and Mohammed Irfan Ali, those guys ain't smart enough to play chess. Those guys are playing checkers because we understand every move. But the thing about it is to get the normal guy needs to understand what is happening there. It's to get the normal guy needs to understand what is happening there. You want to expose me farm? All right. I gonna pulling you by for questioning because we fully and well know that it's you guys who've executed paper sharks. And we knew that. From the inception, we knew that. All government CCTV cameras torn off along the East Bank, along all the different routes that the car would have taken. Then the car just found burned up. You guys are terrorists, man. Not allegedly. You guys are terrorists, man. It's despicable. Here you have a government that is withholding information regarding a murder execution, and is now going to bring it forth, and Guyanese people are still sitting in their homes and watching like if it's soap opera and can't show up on Monday for that protest. Y'all joking. Y'all gotta be joking because you don't know when it is time for one of your family members or one of your children. Because basically every day you sit down in Guyana, you're playing real dangerous Russian roulette with your life. One bullet in the chamber, spin the whole thing, spin the barrel, and pull the trigger to see where the bullet is. If it's there in the chamber when you're gone. What are we doing? This is not a government. This is a criminal syndicate. This is not a government. This is two criminal gangs fighting against each other. How dare we call this a government? We need a government in Guyana. We need proper governance. But let me say this to you guys. Let me say this to you guys. There is a measure of control in all this nonsense. And the control favors the powers to be. The external powers that is raping the country of its resources. Oh yes, this favors them. Because the people are completely distracted while we take everything that we want to take. Right? We're digging you up, we're taking your gold, we're taking your diamond, we're taking your oil, we're taking everything. Well, what next year y'all want to start extracting the uranium out of the country? Come on, go for it. You guys got everything under control. But the thing I want to ask to you guys, because many of you display that, you care about humanity and you care about all these things. I ask the question, what happened to the normal Guyanese? You forget that there are citizens in that same country that you guys are ripping off. You're talking about bringing investment. Bringing investment to benefit whom? That's my question. Who is the investment benefiting? Who is the investment benefiting? We got to wake up, brothers and sisters. We've been put to sleep before for 23 years. Put to sleep and conditioned for 23 years. Because I am trying to figure out what the opposition was doing in those 23 years. I am absolutely trying to figure out what was happening in those 23 years. I know I got to see the 5 years that the APNU was in power. And what I saw a robust PPP opposition. Oh, pressing them on everything. Had to get their time on MCN, everything. That's what you call opposition. Whether people like it or not. That's what you call opposition. You got to put together committees and you got to keep mashing their toes. Farmland should never go away. You need to work farmland until it is no longer workable. This paper shard situation, you need to work it. This government know who killed Ricardo Fagundes. This government know who killed Ronald Waddle. This government knows who killed Courtney Crum Ewing. Let's not fool ourselves. And here, I'm not coming out with no alleged. Alleged what? People talk about we are a functioning democracy and we are the most authentic democracy in the world. Look what's happening to Guyana. And I told you guys, we are going to see exactly what the world is made of. Guyana is going to show the rest of the world what this world is really made of. And we are seeing colonialism. It never left. We are seeing it right before our eyes again. This is what you call modern day colonialism. The players in the PPP is too dunce to understand what is happening. And their supporters ain't too far from them. So what if the president have a farm? So what if the man have 150 acres? It shows investment. Okay. Where's the records? Where's the records? Where's the records? We talk about what? The Integrity Commission, right? The Integrity Commission. I did some pull-ups on the Integrity Commission. It says the Integrity Commission of Guyana is an independent public body established under the Integrity Commission Act of 1997. Its main purpose is to promote honesty, accountability, and transparency among persons holding public office and to help prevent corruption in public life. Ladies and gentlemen, hello? Hello? Really? And we have this corrupt... Look, man, stop wasting taxpayers' money, eh? Stop wasting taxpayers' money. The Integrity Commission of Guyana. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to call the names. I went through the names of those commissioners on the Integrity Commission of Guyana. And I had to laugh to myself. I had to. Okay? I had to. Listen, man. Guyana is corrupt from top to bottom. The government is corrupt. All the commissions are corrupt. The ERC, they're all corrupt. Please. Please, please, please. The judiciary, everybody. Come on. Come on. Please. You guys pull down your pants and skirts and show the people who you have, man. You guys are corrupt. You are corrupt. The entire nation is corrupt. Guyanese people should have no confidence in their government. None. None. 2025, there was no elections. There were no elections in 2025. Let's stop talking about any elections in 2025. There was no election. That was a big old setup. That was just a distribution of seats and business as usual. Let's continue to rip the country to shreds. Let's continue to invest and push, and we're going to make every Guyanese citizen a consumer in their country. They're going to got to buy from us. They got to buy from us. And we are not going to give them opportunities to own land and homes. When they work and they make that money, you bring it right back to your employer, because it's your employer is the big investor in the apartment complex that you're paying back the rent to. So in a way, ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of like, I don't know, servitude, some type of servitude there. You don't move from the level that you're at. There is a ceiling. You want to call it a caste system? Whatever. I'll say this to all and sundry. African Guyanese don't know about caste system. And don't bring up slavery to us, because y'all don't want to revisit that with us. All right? The only we start talking about reparations and all that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be lucidly clear with you this evening. There will never be such a thing as 100% reparations to Africans for what they would have went through. That would bankrupt this world. It would absolutely bankrupt this world 10 times over. Back to the integrity commission. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't need such a commission. You might want to say, well, Wayne, why we don't need such a commission? I'll tell you why. There is so much limitations that it doesn't worth having this commission. The information given is limited to just those commissioners. And they come around the table and they determine if there's anything wrong with the information, if they need to report, if they need to file a report against any government official of wrongdoing. Remember, you hear what I just told you? The commission decides that. Who sees the information? The commission and the commission only. The information is not public, is not made public for public scrutiny. I believe that such a thing needs to change, and it needs to change fast. Look, man, you cannot have a corrupt society like Guyana and leave the onus on 5 people who themselves can be corrupt. You understand me? To make such a decision. All right? When Irfaan Ali have to submit information with regards to this farm, when the purchase was made, when the loans were applied for and approved, how much he would have been granted, within the scope of the loans, how many loans did he take? Because, hey, the price of this farm is very material. That's a lot of money. All right? I'm just saying, it's a lot of money. Right? You got to be transparent. You got to show receipts of your account, being the money being taken out of your account. You got to show all of this. You got to show a receipt of the most recent balance of the loan. You usually get a summary at the end of every year. I mean, that's by American standards. I don't know how it goes in Guyana. Also, the banking institution that would have given you the latitude of having these loans have to be one that is reputable. All right? It has to be one that is reputable. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the Guyanese people are being robbed of information. They've been robbed the right to know what their leaders are doing, what their leaders own. Because you hear these things squeaking through, you know. Oh, this person is invested in this mall. Oh, that. How can you be invested in everything with your presidential salary? How are you going to sit in office as the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and equally be a businessman? These are things that must change. These are things that must change. I remember calling over and over and over for all members of the government. We can start where? We could start 1992 if you want. We could start even 85 if you want. Comprehensively audited from top to bottom. Some people ask who is going to do it. You got people who's willing to volunteer. I would like to be a part of the team. Because Guyanese, you will be guaranteed transparency. There'll be big fight. You will be guaranteed transparency. Right? I don't play in my work. It's about honesty. It's about integrity. I do what I do because I love doing what I do. Not for the love of money. Not for the love of money. No, man. No, for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, money changes people. That's why one must be careful. And I'm going to say this. I'll say this with no regrets, ladies and gentlemen. In Guyana, a nation where we were highly religious, who wasn't religious was highly spiritual, believed in God or believed in that super being. The churches, strong values. That's no more. The churches, most of them, not all, most of them, not painting everybody with one brush. They worship the subventions received from the government. They are for money. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And the poor people in Guyana, they tithes and offering that they continue to give faithfully. And those same leaders in the church don't go out in the community to see what those people have to live through and go through to earn that same tithes and offering that's thrown in that bin every Saturday, Sunday. Shameful. Shameful. Those same leaders in the church sides with the government. Oh, yeah. There's no separation between church and government. Right? Where the church is having a voice. The only voice that comes from the church is probably Apostle London, Pastor Sogrim, and a few others. I don't even think they fill my 10 fingers. Shameful, Guyana. Shameful. I want to talk a little bit more, though, about protest and the protest that was called. And I noticed something during a press release, specifically from the APNU, when it was said that, protest is an option if they don't see certain changes, or if the government doesn't adhere, to this whole thing with the president's bill. And when it came down to the farm, it was made known that the Win Party is the one that really broke this whole farm story. And they should be the ones to take the frontal position on the issue. Well, I want to respectfully disagree and say that those who are more experienced, it would be necessary for you to also take a frontal position, probably the more frontal position because you're more experienced. Though Win have 16 seats, do you think that people recognize Win more than they recognize the APNU? The APNU comes to you with a history behind them, a very rich history of being ethical, of having integrity, and of parties in Guyana having the highest moral values, which is very important to me. I don't know about you guys. It's very, very important. Moral values. So I want to say to the APNU this evening, yes, they may have a lead party in the opposition, but the onus is upon you. The onus is upon the APNU to be able to move the hands of that clock, because it hasn't moved. Oh yeah, no. The PPP Runaway Express train is still running non-stop. And it needs to be stopped. All right? The current leader of the opposition, that gentleman knows what he knows. You can't ask him to go beyond that scope. It would be asking a little too much. All right? He'll be asking a bit too much. You cannot bring a turtle to a dog race or a goat race and expect to win it. I'm talking about a 100-meter goat race and expect to win it. All right? You cannot. Let's act as if we're big people, as if we're educated politicians, and let's also remember at the same time, while we can feed our families, there are many out there who are dependent upon us to represent them and to make life a bit better for them. Many may ask, well, Wayne, if that's the case, why did the people not show up when Brother Kedaki Amsterdam would have called for a call to action? When Brother Kedaki called for a call to action on the ground, it was regarding the president's bill. Yes, that was the main thing on the agenda, but we had a preponderance of things that we could deal with, right? But the president's bill, ladies and gentlemen, just like everything else, is a national issue. It's not solely a WPA or a APNU or a PNC issue. It is a national issue. That means that all on sundry is welcome to the table. Now, when I would have heard in the press release from the side of the PNC that, protest is not off the table, I jump back. Because I say the PNC and the WPA, they never said that they're no longer a coalition. So therefore, I'm expecting hand in hand. So if Brother Kidaki called for a protest, I expect to see Dr. Campbell and everybody involved. Right? So now what's going to happen? If Dr. Campbell now decide that the PNC calling for a protest, so now you expect the WPA to run and to be involved. Come on, guys. But look, we have to be fair. We have to be fair. We have to use our brain here. We have to be fair. Look, when I see nonsense, I call it. Who mad, mad? This is the only way we're going to get better. That's the only way that we're going to get better. Or else we're going to be doing soap operas all 5 years after 5 years after 5 years. We just having programs, different social media programs. No groundwork, nothing. We're going to be in opposition for our lifetime. What are we going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Go to Parliament and look for solutions? These issues doesn't have any solutions in the Parliament. These issues call for strong street protests. You're hearing, I hear things like, oh, for you to have a protest, you got to plan. And hello, plans should already be in place. The PNC, APN, you know, don't worry that they got 12 seats. All those people could come running right back to that party. They are one of the largest mass institutions in Guyana. How come you don't have a plan for protest? Ladies and gentlemen, I have this way. As a public accountant, and I have so many different teams that I work with. You have to delegate, ladies and gentlemen. You have to delegate. Right? You delegate your teams. Hey, guys, your focus is here. Your focus is here. Your focus is... And then you request your reports on your desk. Whether it's bi-weekly or weekly. Brother Jamal Aziz is correct. We need to have countrywide protest in Guyana. Now, let's sit down, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be looking at your comments. And you guys know issues. I want you guys to write up your issues that you believe that we should be protesting. Yes, the president's bill is one. We could be protesting for a fair justice system, a fair judiciary, a judiciary that is free of bias and corruption. We could be protesting for reform at the Guyana Elections Commission. We want new house-to-house registration, biometrics, and a new voters list. Also, we would like to see Claudette Singh step down. We can do that. We can also protest the fact that the government is not providing basic services, basic government services to the people of Guyana. You might say, well, Wayne, what are you talking about? Okay, electricity, water, all right, trash collection, among so many other things, proper roads, right? Proper drainage and irrigation. Every time the rain falls, people are flooded out. There's no aid for them. When the whole bottom flat gone, all the chairs, them get wet up and everything. Snake crawling into the bottom flat and all kind of thing. There's no aid whatsoever. Water going up in the engine of the car got to go to the shop. It's a whole set of money, right? There's no aid. Oh, but the businesses of Guyana, that these same Guyanese got to support and shop and give you all your revenues and everything to them same Guyanese with a PPP, and their people out there on social media that's called Hungry Belly. to support all them business there that putting together aid packages to send to Venezuela and all the other countries where you got people right in your own country struggling. And the Army Corps of Engineers in Guyana, they're building 300 proper houses. You hear what I said? I said proper. Jamaicans ain't gonna accept substandard, proper homes in Jamaica. Nothing against the Jamaicans. I have nothing, and it's good that the Guyana Army Corps of Engineers is showing their expertise and that they have abilities. But why can't you use those abilities at home? After all, ladies and gentlemen, don't charity begin at home? Don't charity begin at home? Yeah, the thing you could protest justice for Adriana Young. And listen, I don't know about y'all, but y'all could put in the comments. I am not convinced that those two guys that are going to jail, life imprisonment, is the two people that murdered the Henry boys. Look, for some reason, I'm not convinced. I am not convinced. You could protest to that also. There's so many things your placard could say. You could protest the equal distribution of wealth. Imagine the PPP just jump up just like that and say, hey, we ain't funding Ipadichi anymore. And the judiciary say, okay, well, you need to fund them for this period because, you know, you're supposed to fund them for this period. The judiciary never jump out and say, hey, hold up. We bringing in all this revenue, just like that, you jump and say that you're not giving the subvention to Ipadichi anymore. What's your reasons? Please. Give us your reasons why you're not funding Ipadichi anymore. Nothing asked. Nothing asked. No questions asked. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't continue to operate in that manner. We cannot. And why we need a full-time parliament, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, is because I believe our MPs needs to be writing to the international human rights bodies across the board. They should get letter upon letter and encourage students, encourage the people, citizens, to also write these bodies. All this information that is out there, they should be writing the Commission of Information, which we're going to touch on a little bit tomorrow. Requesting information, requesting transparency. Another thing that you can protest, the Public Accounts Committee, the work is being stymied. They're not meeting. The government don't want them to meet. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that government spending for 2019 has not been reviewed as yet completely? You're still trying to finish up 2019. So we got 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 6, and then 2026, 7. That's lawlessness. That's lawlessness, and these guys want to sit down and call themselves a government? That's lack of transparency. That's bullyism. You're telling the Guyanese people, we ain't giving you no information. Sit down there. Y'all don't anywhere. That's basically what you're saying. When your president can't even read. Then when you're done, your people won't come and call the people hungry belly. There are some, if you're calling them hungry bellies, then they're the most lenient and patient hungry bellies I've ever seen. Because hungry bellies would attack y'all like scavengers. A hungry man is an angry man. Letting in all kind of people through the borders into the country while you guys protect yourself with your 11 and 14 feet fences and your taxpayers paid bodyguards. Shameful, man. You guys are shameful. And to the people that support the PPP government, y'all are equally culpable, and y'all are a disgrace to the human race. Disgrace. So all of you who align with this, all right, know that you're a part of it. I don't care who you be. People ought to start, leaders in Guyana, especially in the opposition, ought to stop looking over their shoulders and worrying about what people think and serve the people who they've taken an oath to serve. There's no more time for the games. Let's stop playing games with people's lives, man. Every human being that opened their eyes into this world deserves a decent life. Every Guyanese is less than 1 million of us. Look how much revenue is pouring into that country. And you still got a teetering on 60% poverty rate, 32 to 35% abject poverty rate. You kidding me? And your expectations is that people like myself and many others who understands this stuff must keep our mouth mum while some dunces lead the nation. You guys are taking loans and all these things as if they're out of style. And who got to pay for it? The young Guyanese of tomorrow. And also, with this president's bill, they got to pay for you guys to have your lavish lifestyle. Are you kidding me? That's why a lot of young Guyanese look and they ask themselves, well, does it worth living? Does it even worth to live? Because our future is already determined by the government. Opposition parties is not walking around and talking to the people. That's not all. You got to really get grounded. Really get grounded. You got to sell your vision. Your conversation cannot be passive. The conversation cannot be passive. Your conversation got to demonstrate love and care. It must. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. To demonstrate love and care for people, it got to be a natural thing. Oh, it got to be a natural thing. Because I'm one of those. So it got to be a natural thing. You got to be born with that. You can always learn. But three minutes to 8, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming up on program time. We got to stick with the 1 hour here. Tomorrow we're going to be back. Yes, Sparkle Gonzalez, I agree with you. Chanel Smith, Daniel, Robin Simon. Yeah. Those are very, very strong opposition females. Very, very strong. Heart, guts, love, care. They demonstrate that. Sometimes put their bodies out on the line. These are women. These are women. You know, Lady Pick, you're right. Lady Pick is asking me, 2 minutes, okay. Lady Pick is asking me to call out the people on the ground. I have said this before, that people are passive, all right? Something happened, just name, something happened to Tom Jones' son, all right? Everybody stay on the side and look on. You know, they see that it was an injustice to his son. You know, they don't do anything. They don't do anything. He might call out for protest and call out, nobody moving. You know why? Because now they pick me. But when that same situation come to your door, and that's something, listen, it doesn't have to come to your door, you know. You can avoid it from coming to your door by belling the cat and nipping the problem in the butt early by going out there and supporting Tom Jones and saying, nah, we are not standing for this. We are taking a frontal position on this. Our children are not going to continue to die at the hands of the Guyana Police Force, specifically African Guyanese children. We're not going to have it. We are standing up and we are saying no. But you wait and you let it all happen to Tom Jones and you sit down there. You sit down there. And then when it comes to your door, you want to cry foul. You want to cry foul. No, it's today for he, tomorrow for she, the next day for she, the next day for he. And the trend is going to continue until somebody steps up and stop it. Ladies and gentlemen, as I leave this evening, think about the amount of blood that is running in Guyana right now. This government is thriving on death and on blood. And to Guyanese, I want to say this to y'all. Why y'all think this evening, when y'all go in your bed, think about this. How everybody just sport up and knock the domino and play the cards and drink up the rum and eat up the food at the wake as y'all celebrate life. Sometimes y'all celebrate the life of somebody who was murdered. And everybody drink up and have a jolly time. That cannot be our future, Guyanese. We need sustainable future. We need a future, a poverty-less future, and a future of prosperity in Guyana. Let's come together, ladies and gentlemen. Let us come together and fight this regime. Let's come together and protest for change. We ain't talking about no violent protest because all them infrastructure and all that y'all see built out in Guyana is y'all taxpayers' money. So don't go and break it up. I implore you to not break it up. And don't do anything to people's businesses because the government going to take out y'all money out of y'all tax pool and pay them same people. And here, let's say we just making a number. Let's say it's $10 million to pay off all the people. The government going to take out $50 million. $40 million gone to corruption. I'll leave y'all on that this evening. Don't remember, ladies and gentlemen, parties involved. Don't take it to heart. I love all of you guys, but we got to get on this thing. This thing got to work. All right? It can't be like the last 5-year cycle. All right? Let's start getting it right, ladies and gentlemen. And to all the viewers here, the owners of Over to You. You guys are the owners, not me. You guys allow me. Y'all could fire me anytime. Y'all allow me to come here and present. I want to say to you guys, thank you for all the support on this program. I love you. I love you. I love you. Let's come back here tomorrow. Y'all take good care of yourself. Enjoy your Saturday night. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, West Indies playing out there at the stadium and the stands them empty. But if Alkaline was out there, the stands would have been full. Why the government can't promote West Indies cricket? I'm going to leave it at that though. Until tomorrow, I love you. I love you. I love you. Over to you. Good night, my loving brothers and sisters.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will inside every sector. But when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barretons too, cause I done fed up. You done fed up. He done fed up. She done fed up. We done fed up. The people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism.